There's a fire in your heart, burning bright, a dream that's been keeping you up at night. You've been waiting for the perfect time, but now's the moment, it's time to shine. Go for it, don't hold back. Take the chance, don't be afraid to attack. The world is waiting for you to show what you're made of. Let it go.
All right, buckle up, because today we're diving deep, deep into the world of Wyland. And yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Oh boy, another whale mural. But trust me on this one, folks. We're going way beyond those iconic images, fascinating as they are.
You got that right. We've got some incredible material to get through today, stuff that really makes you see why Wyland is so much more than just a, how did USA Today put it?
Oh, right, the marine Michelangelo. Catchy, I'll give him that. But it begs the question, what exactly earned him such a grand title? It can't just be a few pretty whales on a wall, right?
Well, on one hand, the sheer scale of his work is mind-boggling. I mean, whaling walls, over 100 massive murals spanning the globe. That's a Guinness World Record for a reason.
Exactly. But even beyond that, the guy's got a 3-acre ocean mural in Long Beach, and then there's that portrait of Earth, twice the size, right?
That's just scratching the surface. Think about it, though. Imagine strolling through your city and bam, you're face-to-face with a hyper-realistic whale big as a building. Whoa, yeah. It's like before we had Instagram walls, he was creating these massive immersive art experiences. But was that his goal? To just wow people with size? Or was there a deeper message he was trying to get across?
There's a really interesting parallel to Michelangelo, actually. Think about the Sistine Chapel ceiling. It wasn't just some private commission. It was meant to inspire awe and contemplation from anyone who walked in.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Wyland took his art to the streets, made it accessible to everyone, used those massive canvases to, forge a connection with the ocean?
Exactly. And he was doing this long before social media, before the internet could spread his message so widely. Those early murals, they were like going viral before going viral was even a thing.
True, true. And just imagine the impact. It's one thing to see a photo of a whale, but to stand there, dwarfed by this incredible creature brought to life in such detail, it makes you feel something.
And that, I think, is key to understanding Wyland. He understood the power of art to transcend language, to create empathy and understanding in a way that scientific reports often can't.
So it's about more than just the art itself. It's about the emotion, the connection. Was that his strategy? To bypass the facts and figures and go straight for the heart?
Absolutely. He wasn't just presenting information about whales, he was inviting people into an emotional experience, and that's far more powerful for driving action. And what's interesting is how deliberate he was about that approach. There is an interview where he says, my art has always been about art and conservation. It wasn't like he stumbled into it. It was this core belief from the get-go.
Right, like intertwined from the beginning. Makes you wonder, what was that spark? That moment where those two passions really clicked for him?
Yeah.
We were talking about being inspired by the ocean, though in different ways, right? Well, it turns out Wyland had a kind of epiphany, too.
Oh, for sure. Back in '71, family trip to Laguna Beach, seeing the Pacific for the first time obviously made an impression. But then he sees this mother and baby gray whale migrating. That did it. That's what really shifted something for him.
And get this, that image became his very first mural in '81. Talk about full circle. It's like that encounter, it just imprinted on him and he had to express it. But I find it fascinating that he didn't just paint some abstract ocean scene.
No, he went specific and deliberate with it.
Exactly. It was this real, tangible, endangered creature right at the time when rail hunting was a huge debate.
Huge. And he tapped into something really clever there. By painting them with such grandeur, such detail, he challenged how people saw whales. You weren't just looking at paint on a wall, you were confronting this majestic being, the vulnerability, the very real threat they were facing.
It's kind of like those nature docs, you know? When they zoom in on a gorilla family, elephant herd with their babies, suddenly it's not just an animal, it's family, it's a bond, something worth fighting for. Wyland did that for whales, but on this huge public scale, and it just so happened to coincide with
The whole environmental movement exploding.
bingo. Like he was the perfect person in the perfect place at the perfect time. Early 70s, you've got Earth Day kicking off, Greenpeace forming, this energy building around protecting our planet that hadn't really been there before.
And Wyland's art, it bottled that zeitgeist, turned it into this visual language everyone could understand. Whether you were a scientist or just someone walking down the street, those murals, they hit you on a visceral level.
Right. Being in the right place at the right time, sure, that's a factor. But recognizing the opportunity, grabbing it by the horns, that's Wyland all over. And he didn't just ride that wave, he built this whole legacy that goes way beyond those early murals.
Absolutely. Successful entrepreneur, the guy's a dedicated philanthropist. He just gets that art can be a catalyst for change, but you need something to keep that fire burning.
And that's where the Wyland Foundation comes in, right? Talk about putting your money where your paintbrush is.
Seriously. Over 30 years, that thing's been going strong. You know, you mentioned trendy philanthropy before. Well, he founded this back in '93, long before it was cool for every celeb and their dog to have a cause. This was genuine, putting his success towards something bigger.
And not just some vanity projects either. He partners with the UN for the Wyland World Water Pledge.
Yep.
Right, that's next level stuff. I mean, it's one thing to inspire folks with pretty pictures, but getting them to actually commit to change.
That's the thing about the water pledge, though. It's so simple. No guilt trips, no complicated solutions, just connecting the dots between what we do every day and, well, having clean water. Turning on the tap, watering the lawn, even flushing the toilet, it all comes back to this precious resource.
Makes it real, yeah.
Yeah,
Not some abstract concept, but something we're all part of. It's like Wyland's whole deal, actually. Making the intangible tangible, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Murals, sculptures, even this foundation, it's all about bringing the ocean, its importance, right to people's doorstep.
Meeting them where they are, exactly. Not everyone's going to go to a marine biology lecture, but they might stop and stare at a freaking awesome whale mural. And that spark, that wonder, that's where it starts.
And he's taking that spark to the next generation, too. That quote of his about protecting all water, not just the oceans, he said, "It's us." So simple. But man, it hits hard.
That sense of responsibility, especially for young people, it's huge for him. They're the ones inheriting this planet, right? But they've also got the passion, the creativity to fix it, and he sees that.
Oh, for sure. Like with that mobile learning center he's got, so smart. Instead of waiting for kids to find him, he's bringing the ocean to them.
Genius, right? Imagine being a kid and this colorful, interactive exhibit rolls up to your school. Suddenly learning about marine life, about conservation, it's not a chore, it's an adventure.
And maybe even a call to action, who knows? Reminds me of something he said about his legacy, actually. He hopes to be remembered for supporting young people. Not just the art, but that impact on the future. That's what matters.
Beautiful, isn't it? He talks about being inspired by Jacques Cousteau, so it's this cycle, mentorship, inspiration, passing the torch. And he's doing it when it matters most. There's this quote from Sylvia Earle that really stuck with him about how what we do in the next 10 years will impact the next 10,000.
Wow. Talk about putting things into perspective. We came into this deep dive figuring we'd scratched the surface of some whale murals, and here we are talking about legacies and the fate of the planet.
It's that ripple effect, though, right? Wyland, the artist, the advocate, the entrepreneur, the philanthropist, but ultimately a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference. That's his real masterpiece, I think.
Couldn't agree more. So next time you walk by one of his murals, don't just snap a pic for the gram. Really look at it. Let it spark a question, a conversation, maybe even a little commitment to action. Who knows, maybe we can all channel our inner Wyland and make some waves for a better future.
There's a fire in your heart, burning bright. A dream that's been keeping you up at night. You've been waiting for the perfect time, but now's the moment, it's time to shine. Go for it, don't hold back. Take the chance, don't be afraid to attack. The world is waiting for you to show what you're made of.